The All-Star Game was all the way back in July. It seems like 100 years ago, and there were 77 players that got the honor. Now that the season's over, it's hard to believe that some of the season's best players didn't get invited. Let's look at the 10 best hitters and 10 best pitchers that were not named All-Stars. First, the hitters, and my criteria was they had to play at least 100 games. It was hard to just pick a top 10. There were so many good options. Jake Berger, Ketel Marte, Wilmer Flores, Tristan Casas, Seiya Suzuki, Josh Lowe, Gunnar Henderson. All of them could have made the list, but there wasn't any room. I want to start with two similar and interesting cases, Kyle Schwarber and Max Muncy. Both of these guys had amazing seasons at the plate, drawing a ton of walks, hitting a ton of homers, driving in a ton of runs, OPS over 800, but they are both hitting right around 200 and struck out more than anyone else on the list. This sparks a whole debate about the three true outcomes, but regardless, these guys didn't make the All-Star team, and despite their production, I can understand why. Number 10, Josh Naylor. There weren't many guys who hit over 300 this year, but Naylor is one of them. Like most of the Guardians, he didn't have much power. He hit 17 homers, but also hit 31 doubles, raising his slugging close to 500 and his OPS standing at 842. He wasn't hitting it out of the park, but he was driving in runs, finishing the season with 97 RBI. Number 9, Isaac Paredes. The Rays offense came to life, and a big part of that was the emergence of their 24-year-old third baseman. He was good all year, hitting 31 homers, driving in 98, hitting 250 and having an 840 OPS. He had a better first half than second half, so that wasn't the reason for his snub. Number 8, Bobby Witt Jr. He had a good rookie year, but he raised his game to the next level, and nobody's going to argue he's not a bona fide star. 30 homers, 96 RBI, 49 stolen bases. He just needs to work on getting on base more, but his OPS was still very good at 813. Every team needs an all-star rep, and it seems like the Royals should have been able to send Witt. His first half wasn't that impressive. He was only about league average. In the second half, he turned on the power, raised his average 44 points, and had an OPS over 900. Number 7, Francisco Lindor. For a bad Mets team, Lindor had a great season. He only missed 2 games, hit 31 homers and stole 31 bags, drove in 98, finishing with an 806 OPS. That earned him a Silver Slugger and a 9th place finish for MVP. He definitely picked his game up in the second half, but he was very solid at the break, sitting on 19 homers and an OPS of 798. Number 6, Christian Walker. First base in the National League is tough. Olsen, Freeman, Alonso. Good luck breaking into that group. Walker won a Gold Glove for a second straight year, played in all but 4 games, 33 homers, 103 RBI, slugged almost 500, 830 OPS. At the break, he had an 848 OPS and dropped off a bit in the second half, so it just seems there wasn't room for him on the team. Number 5, Nolan Jones. This rookie turned out to be the bright spot for a terrible Rockies team, but he didn't come up until late May. Missing the first 2 months of the season makes it almost impossible to make the All-Star team, and at the break, he played in 37 games and had an 856 OPS. He owned the second half, his OPS going up to 968, hitting over 300, ending up with 20 homers and 20 steals, a 297 average, and nobody on this list had a better season OPS of 931. He should be on the team for years to come, but he just came up too late this year. Number 4, Rafael Devers. With JD Martinez and Xander Bogaerts leaving, Devers had to be the rock for this offense. Once again, he delivered. 153 games, 33 homers, 100 RBI, 851 OPS. Third base in either league is tough. You got Josh Young, Jose Ramirez, Alex Bregman, the aforementioned Isaac Paredes, but the last 2 years, Devers did make the team. He was good at the break, 20 homers, 818 OPS, but it wasn't good enough. He picked that up in the second half, raising his average 40 points and OPS 77 points. Number 3, Bryce Harper. First things first, we all know Harper had surgery over the offseason, and he missed all of April. It's tough to miss the first third of the first half and then sneak in as a DH. Besides, those 56 games were kind of his spring training. He did hit 291 with a 786 OPS, but he only hit 3 home runs. It's understandable why he didn't make the team. The second half was bonkers. He found his power stroke, hitting 18 homers with a 996 OPS. Overall, he played 126 games, hit almost 300, 21 homers, and a 900 OPS. Good enough for 12th place in the MVP vote. Number 2, Marcell Ozuna. When you look at the final numbers, they fly off the page. 40 homers, 100 RBI, 274 average, and a 905 OPS. Nobody on this list had a better slugging percentage at 558. He was solid in the first half. 17 homers and a 789 OPS. Above average, but maybe not all-star level, especially on the Braves, who already sent 8 players to the game. In the second half, he hit 23 homers, hit over 300, and had a 1019 OPS. Had that been his first half, he would have made it. Number 1. Cody Bellinger. Looking to jumpstart his career, Bellinger went to the Cubs and had an awesome season. 130 games, 26 homers, 97 RBI, 20 steals. One of those few players that hit over 300 and had an 881 OPS. That got him 10th place in the MVP vote, but not an All-Star bid. He was very good at the break. 298 average, 846 OPS, but he was hurt from mid-May to mid-June, and missing that month really hurt him. He was healthy the whole second half and he was great. 17 homers, 313 average, 909 OPS. He didn't make the All-Star team, but that season's gonna land him a huge contract. Now for pitchers, and I know it's hard for non-closer relievers to make the team, so let me just point out 5 guys out of the bullpen who had awesome years. I'm only considering guys with 50 plus innings. Number 5, Tom Cosgrove. Coming out of the pen for the Padres, he appeared in 54 games, 51 1/3 innings, and a 1.75 ERA. Number 4, Hector Neris. He was a workhorse for the Astros, 71 games, 68 1/3 innings, 1.71 ERA. Number 3, Tim Mesa. He also got the call a lot for the Blue Jays, appearing in 69 games but only pitching 53 1/3 innings, even with the 3-batter rule. He terrorized lefties, posting an 0.59 ERA among them and a 1.52 ERA overall. Number 2, Chris Martin. His first year with Boston was awesome, and the 37-year-old proved he still got it. 55 games, 51 1/3 innings, and a 1.05 ERA. That earned him his first ever Cy Young votes. Number 1, Bruce Star Gratterall. The Dodgers' starting pitching was a mess, but their bullpen was rock solid. Gratterall was their best arm all year. 68 games, 67 1/3 innings, 7 saves, and a 1.20 ERA. His first half was very good, 40 games and a 1.85 ERA, but in the second half, he was untouchable. 28 games, 28 1/3 innings, 1 run. That's an 0.32 ERA. Now for the starters, and I only picked out guys that made at least 20 starts. Number 10, Michael Wacha. The Padres had the league's second best pitching, and one of the reasons for that was one of their new guys, Michael Wacha. He came back strong on a 1-year deal. 24 starts, 134 innings, 3.22 ERA. For what it's worth, he had a personal record of 14-4. He actually had a better first half. 15 starts and a 2.84 ERA, and his second half ERA went up over a run. Number 9, Wade Miley. The Padres may have had the second best ERA, but in the National League, nobody was better than Milwaukee. Wade Miley played a big part in that, making 23 starts, 120 innings, 9-4 record, 3.14 ERA. This was his best season since his last year in Milwaukee back in 2018. He was consistent all year, a 3.06 ERA over 13 starts in the first half, that rising to 3.25 in the second half. Number 8, Eduardo Rodriguez. His first year with the Tigers was a mess, but he came back, put in a full season, and he was very good. 26 starts, 152 innings, 3.30 ERA. He missed all of June, and that's what screwed him over. He put in 12 starts, but he was awesome, posting a 2.64 ERA, and the second half wasn't nearly as good. 14 starts and a 3.89 ERA. Number 7, Justin Verlander. Not exactly under the radar, the reigning Cy Young winner went to the biggest market in the country, but he got hurt right before the season and missed all of April. He only made 12 starts and had a 3.60 ERA. Not exactly all-star level. He had a very good second half, dropping that ERA under 3, but you can't say it was because of the trade. His ERA with the Astros was higher than that with the Mets. What drove down his Mets ERA was his last 3 starts before the trade. He threw 19 1/3 innings and gave up 2 runs. Overall, he made 27 starts, 162 innings, and posted a 3.22 ERA. Number 6, Merrill Kelly. For the second straight year, he put in a solid complete season. 30 starts, 177 innings, 3.29 ERA. He's consistent from year to year, and consistent from half to half. First half, 16 starts and a 3.22 ERA. Second half, 14 starts and a 3.38 ERA. Good, but not good enough. Number 5, Tanner Bybee. He made his major league debut at the end of April, and he was here to stay, ending up with 25 starts, 142 innings, and ending with a sub-3 ERA. That landed him second place in Rookie of the Year voting, but not a spot in the All-Star team. In addition to missing the first month, he posted a 3.34 ERA over his first 13 starts. He was a second half pitcher, 12 starts and a 2.63 ERA. That may have gotten him on the team. Number 4, Jordan Montgomery. 2 years in a row now, this guy's been a major trade chip at the deadline. He started this season with the Cardinals and got traded to the Rangers, becoming their Game 1 starter in the playoffs. He was healthy all season, 32 starts, 188 innings, 3.20 ERA. There wasn't much difference between the first half and the second half, 323 versus 315, but his last 2 starts in the second half of the Cardinals were not good, giving up 10 runs over 12 innings. He was very good with the Rangers, finishing the season with a 2.79 ERA. Number 3, Kyle Bradish. The Orioles exceeded everyone's expectations this year, and this guy, who had an ERA close to 5 in his rookie year, suddenly finished top 4 in Cy Young voting. 30 starts, 168 innings, 2.83 ERA. He wasn't bad in the first half, but he wasn't jumping out on anyone's radar for an All-Star bid. 16 starts and a 3.32 ERA. He dialed it up in the second half. 14 starts and dropping his ERA by almost a full run. Number 2, Logan Webb. Nobody in baseball pitched as many innings as Webb, ending with 216 over 33 starts, and he got results, a 3.25 ERA. That effort was good for second place in the Cy Young vote. The second best pitcher in the league could not make the All-Star team. It must have been because of a weak first half, right? No, he was better in the first half. 19 starts and a 3.14 ERA. That went up to 3.40 over his last 14 starts. I guess he wasn't a top first half pitcher, but in the long run, he proved slow and steady wins the race. Number 1, Blake Snell. I said Webb got second place in the Cy Young vote. Well, meet the guy who finished number 1. 32 starts, 180 innings, 2.25 ERA. This was a tight race at the end, but Snell was masterful over his last 6 starts. 38 innings, 2 runs, 0.47 ERA. In 5 of those 6 starts, he gave up nothing. It's obvious his second half was great. 14 starts and a 1.54 ERA. But you would think his 18 starts and 2.85 ERA in the first half would have been good enough to make the team, but no. Snell got the last laugh on this one. At least on a personal level. Nobody on the Padres wants to talk about that season. That's a wrap on this list. Let me know what you think. If there's anyone I left off, let me know why they deserve to be on here. Again, there were a ton of great players that could have made this video, but after going over the stats, this is what I came up with. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like. And if you're new here and want to see more content like this, please give me a sub. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.